Welcome to the Sports on Prime. I'm Gary L. Smith, and we are building up to the Ghana Premier League. Today, the Ghana League Clubs Association, GHALCA, will go to the polls on January the 21st, 2021, and the decision was taken earlier at a congress at the GHALCA conference room at the Accra Sports Stadium. My colleague Mubarak Haruna was there and has filed this report.
For the first time in 4 years, GHALCA have held their first congress at the Accra Sports Stadium. The GFA President Keto Kreku, Vice President Mark Addo, and Executive Council member Nana Odrosaf were all present at the meeting. One key thing discussed at the congress was the scheduling of the elections, which will take place in January next year on the 21st. GFA President Keto Kreku calls for unity amongst GHALCA members.
As we go into our next elections, it's important that we stay as a unit. Different candidates will come up. We have our individual choices, but let us not destroy the League Clubs Association. Let us stay together. We'll have our differences by way of who we think must lead, who must be an executive member. But let's look beyond that. Let's look beyond our individual choices and think about GHALCA. Let's think about how to make GHALCA strong.
Chairman of GHALCA, Kujo Fiano, has been explaining the reason why the elections date is scheduled to next year, and also declared his decision to contest for the elections.
Currently, we are in a major political season, and our elections are always conducted by the Electoral Commission. I don't think the Electoral Commission has the luxury of time now to engage themselves in elections like that of GHALCA, and we wouldn't want to use anybody apart from the Electoral Commission. So we want them to finish with the national elections. Even if there should be a runoff, they will have finished with that, so that 21st January we could have our elections.
Are you contesting?
Yes, I'll contest.
Various issues were discussed at the meeting, including foreign transfer fees, gate proceeds, and the presentation of audited accounts. Mr. Fiano is very happy with how the meeting transpired.
I am very happy. A lot of water had passed under the bridge, and the membership appreciated the fact that it wasn't deliberate. We all knew that we have to be accountable to our members. I would say it was better late than never. If we had not done it at all, that would be an indictment on our part. But after all, we've been able to do it, and we've achieved the desired results. They've gone to the accounts. Issues that were bothering our members were put on the floor. We discussed them in details, and we've reached consensus on almost all of them.
The scheduling of the election date was a key thing at the Congress, but time will tell whether members will behave with propriety. For Joy Sports, my name is Haruna Mubarak.
And still at the same event, the president of the GFA, Keto Kreku, called on GHALCA to include women in their executive body. And according to him, the GFA is determined to encourage women's participation in football.
When I walked through the gates, I saw Anita, and my heart was gladdened. Because one of the requests that I want to place in front of the executives and members of this GHALCA is for us to expand to include women in not only the executive body of the League Clubs Association, but also as key members of our dear association. Women's football has come to stay, and our desire for affirmative action to encourage more female participation in football across all fronts is still very, very key to us. For which reason, Mr. Chairman, again, I will respectfully ask that on your Executive Council, we make room for women's football, and also let's bring on board all the women clubs, especially at the Premier League level, onto the mainstream GHALCA. I hope you would consider this request.
And ahead of the start to the Ghana Premier League, we have more coming. Please join me after 8 p.m. when I come back. We'll have a preview to tomorrow's GPL Prime. I'm Gary L. Smith with this one.